to welcome BikeNext 2026 Yamaha SR400 feels like a quiet revolution wrapped in a timeless silhouette. When you first look at it, you might think Yamaha simply kept the classic formula untouched, but once you dig in, you start to realize how thoughtfully they've modernized the legend without losing any of the analog charm that made the SR400 iconic. For BikeNext today, we'll break down the key features, real-world performance, the evolved design, and the price Yamaha has positioned this machine at. And by the end, you'll know exactly what makes the 2026 SR400 stand out in a market full of tech-heavy competitors. At its heart, the SR400 still carries the character-packed single-cylinder that riders have loved for decades, but for 2026 Yamaha has refined it in smart, subtle ways. It remains a 399cc air-cooled engine, but the fuel injection system has been reworked for smoother cold starts, cleaner emissions, and noticeably more linear throttle response. Where older seniors sometimes felt a little hesitant at the bottom of the rev range, the 2026 model reacts instantly, making city riding more intuitive and predictable. Yamaha claims slightly improved fuel efficiency as well, and in everyday riding, the bike delivers that slow thumping, satisfying pulse that the senior line is known for. Kickstarting remains the signature quirk and a point of pride. Yes, even in 2026, Yamaha keeps the Kickstarter alive. It's smoother now, easier than before, thanks to a lighter compression feel and improved internal balancing. Riders who've tried past SR400s will immediately notice that you don't have to fight it. It's part of the ritual rather than an obstacle. This single detail alone sets the SR400 apart in a world where most bikes have lost mechanical connection in exchange for convenience. The performance overall isn't about raw power, and Yamaha never pretends otherwise. This bike is about the purity of riding. The 2026 update offers slightly refined gearing, which makes first and second gear calmer in heavy traffic and reduces buzz at mid-range speeds. On open roads, the SR400 cruises happily between 80 and 100 km per hour, with enough overhead to handle bursts of acceleration when needed. The suspension setup remains simply telescopic forks up front, dual shocks at the rear, but Yamaha has adjusted the spring rate so the bike feels more planted over uneven pavement. It's not sport bike stiff, not cruiser soft, but right in that classic standard bike middle ground that encourages all-day riding. Braking sees one of the most important updates. The front disc is now paired with a more responsive ABS system tuned specifically for light, single-cylinder motorcycles. The rear drum brake is still here, staying true to the retro personality, but its modulation is noticeably improved. For riders stepping into the world of vintage-styled machines for the first time, the bike offers a safe, confidence-building setup without losing its old-school footprint. Moving to design, Yamaha clearly understands that the SR400's greatest weapon is nostalgia, real nostalgia, not imitation. The teardrop tank keeps its iconic curvature but now features more refined paint layers with deeper gloss and optional dual-tone finishes. The side covers remain minimalistic, proudly displaying the senior emblem, while the frame retains its classic double cradle shape. Attention to detail is where Yamaha really pushed forward. The chrome work is cleaner, more durable, less prone to oxidation. The seat has been redesigned with higher density foam, offering better long-distance comfort without altering the recognizable silhouette. Lighting is one area where Yamaha blends retro with reality. The headlight still looks beautifully round and vintage, but inside, it's now a warm-tone LED designed to mimic the feel of a halogen lamp while delivering modern visibility. The taillight gets the same treatment to classic shape, modern internals. Turn signals remain stock-mounted metal housings, keeping that period-correct touch. What really makes the 2026 SR400 unique is how Yamaha walks the tightropes between old and new. You get modern reliability, modern fueling, cleaner emissions, improved safety, yet the bike never feels computerized or disconnected. The instrument cluster, for example, is refreshingly analog: a large speedometer, simple odometer, basic indicator lights, no TFT screen, no ride modes, no traction control. And that's intentional. Yamaha knows this motorcycle is for riders who appreciate the craft of riding itself, the ones who want a machine that won't bombard them with information but instead gives them the space to feel every input, every vibration, every stretch of road. The bike's weight remains close to its historical identity, around the low 170 kg range when fueled. That gives the SR400 an incredibly friendly, predictable feel, especially for newer riders or returning riders who want something uncomplicated yet deeply satisfying. Its narrow frame and low seat height make maneuvering in traffic or tight spaces effortless. Even pushing it around a garage feels easy. Customization remains a quiet but important selling point. Yamaha has intentionally designed the new SR400 to work with a wide ecosystem of aftermarket parts. Whether you want a cafe-tilde copyright racer look, a scrambler build, or a classic touring setup, the bike's architecture invites personalization. Yamaha themselves offer an expanded accessory catalog for 2026, including retro windshields, leather side bags, and even alternate seat styles. In a market where personalization is increasingly important, the SR400 stands as a perfect blank canvas without losing its core identity. Let's talk price. Yamaha positions the 2026 SR400 at approximately $6,499, depending on market, which places it comfortably below many mid-sized modern classics. Given its build quality, mechanical simplicity, and low maintenance costs, it's a motorcycle that delivers long-term value. You're not just paying for a machine, you're paying for a riding experience that doesn't age, one that feels grounded and genuine in ways modern motorcycles sometimes struggle to replicate. In the real world, that's the secret appeal of the Yamaha SR400. It's not chasing spec sheets. It's not trying to outperform anything. Instead, it offers an experience mechanical, honest, rhythmic. It's a bike you don't just ride, you bond with. You learn its pacing, its heartbeat, its subtle responses. It makes every small ride feel intentional. Whether you're rolling through quiet neighborhoods, weaving through downtown traffic, or taking a weekend ride along the coast. For riders who grew up around classic motorcycles, the SR400 feels like home. For younger riders discovering the joy of retro machines, it becomes a doorway into a simpler era without the compromises of true vintage ownership. And for Yamaha, it's a statement, a reminder that sometimes the future of motorcycling involves honoring the past, preserving tactile riding, and keeping the soul of motorcycling alive. That's the 2026 Yamaha SR400, a machine that stays true to itself, evolves subtly, and continues to offer one of the most authentic riding experiences on the road today.